Okay, it's Saturday. Must be, I guess, May 10th, I guess. And one thing about being a property owner is you don't just get to work on what you want to work on because, I have my Earth Home project, but I'm in a red zone. I got 10 acres, so I have to do fire mitigation. I did go to I've gone to a couple fire mitigation seminars over the last couple of weeks. So what I'm doing is, and I'll show you, I have a lot of the little small stuff, like these little trees. So I'm going and taking those all out. I've taken a bunch out. You'll see the little stumps of everything I've taken out. And down that way too, you'll see some stumps. The people at the seminar, they're recommending that when you have trees, they want to clear it to where the tops are just like 40 feet apart, which is just not practical. This is just, and it's my property is a flag lot, so I have it's called a flagpole. It's a 30-foot wide section of land that goes down to the county road down there. So I'm just going through and right now knocking off all the branches, the lower branches, and what they want to see is like 10 feet up. So it's going to be a while till I get everything 10 foot up, but so I'm going to get a ladder out here and do that. But I'm taking out, thinning some trees too. So I've got my trusty chainsaw out, and I just been knocking trees down. So this was a cluster. There were, I don't know, I think I've taken 3 down there, including these 2. One was a fairly small guy. And of course, just thinning the herd out as we go. Again, they went into a lot of the history of how forests, which is what this area was back before man came, a couple 200 years ago or something. So they're saying that at that time the forest kind of managed itself, and it took fires would thin the trees out, so they would have that almost savanna type looking thing. And then when people showed up, that stopped because we started building houses all over the area, and so we kind of disrupted Mother Nature. So that's what I did today. I'm just trimming kind of thinning it out a little. So I'm ending up with a bunch of small trees like this. You can look all through there and see little trees. I actually started doing this last year, so there's some cuts from my earlier attempts. And I do drive down here, so you'll see where my tire tracks are. It's my property, so here's where I'll drive through, and that's an alternate route up to my building site, which this is undeveloped. So, and my one of my neighbors has an adjacent parallel flagpole on his property, so he just gave me an easement on that. So, but that's like all the way up there. So that's like all the way up there. So it's just not practical without a bunch of dirt work, and taking down basically all those trees back there would have to come out. So, but that might be expedient someday. We'll see. So what's going to happen is it's kind of a question of cost too, because if I put in the access road that the engineer did on my grading plan, and it's going to require a big retaining wall to carry that road. So cost wise, this might be the cheapest way to go. We'll have to see, but that has to do with what kind of permitting and planning and engineering and all that crap, all those different kinds of things that go in. So there's my lovely neighbors have let me know that that's the property line, although they're not really on it. They're like 10 inches off of it. So if it stays that way, then I think it's 10 years down the road, that little space is mine. So just more of the stuff I've taken down. You can see piles all over the place. Used to be they'd come in and you could put it all by the side of the road, and they had a deal worked out where the fire department would come and chip all that, but I'm gonna have to load all this stuff up and haul it out. So like say, here's my kind of overland. It's not even really access, it's just the way I can drive across my property to and get even a little bit of snow on this. It's impassable. So that's what I'm doing today, and worked up a pretty good sweat doing it. So I've just got one piece of gear to put away, my little chainsaw, and there's a chainsaw and gas, I guess. So I'll be doing that, and that's all I got for today. I think I'm gonna call it quits, and tomorrow I'll go back to working on my earth sheltered home. I did talk to one guy. Said the guy who I bought my package from is actually an engineer, and I'll show that tomorrow. He said I could actually go over. I had some people helping me the other day, and instead of putting a vertical on a corner behind the rebar, they put it in front. And that leaves me with, well, what do I do? How do I get behind that? And so essentially, I've been told I can go over that, but it's going to be a really busy corner. But I'll do a video on that tomorrow. So have a good Saturday, guys, and I will talk at y'all later.